So 1 month ago, I did something kind of crazy. Walked away from my Instagram account that had over 114,000 followers to start over from zero. I know. Believe me, I know. Why? I'm so glad you asked. Because it wasn't working anymore. Like my account just decided to stop working, and it stopped working for over 8 months. And I'd finally had enough. I did do another video a couple of weeks ago, the moment that I started over from scratch, to kind of document that whole process, my thoughts, feelings, just like revelations that I was having. So definitely go check out that episode because I cover a lot of really good content in that. Because in this episode, I'm gonna briefly talk about why I started over without it taking up too much time. I'm gonna talk about what I've learned so far in the last 30 days. I'm gonna talk about what's currently working in the Instagram space. And finally, I'm going to answer the question of whether or not you should start fresh on Instagram too. So let's get into it. Just to do a quick, really brief introduction if you have zero idea who I am or what this whole YouTube series is about. Hello, hi, my name is Mandy Emerson. I am a 36-year-old stay-at-home mom, content creator, entrepreneur, and I started this series 8 weeks ago. Wow, 8 or 9, I think it's 9 weeks, because I had 1 week that I missed posting because I was traveling and the Wi-Fi and like blah, blah, blah. But I wanted to get back into the world of YouTube. This is actually where I started my content creation journey, and it just felt right to come back home, you know? But this time I'm coming back with a series called Building a Six-Figure Business as a Stay-at-Home Mom. It really should actually be building another six-figure business because I've built one before and now we're just doing it again, but it's in a completely different venue, different setting, different season, all the things. My first business was in the Instagram coaching space. I worked with business owners, entrepreneurs, content creators on how to use their Instagram to grow their platform and grow their income. My zone of genius really comes in content creation, so that's primarily what I worked with when I had my clients. And I grew that business very quickly. Within the first year, I grew it to 6 figures, and then the next year and the next year, more and more after that. Once I had my son, I did decide to put that business on the back burner, and I'm kind of bringing it back a little bit, except for the one-on-one coaching. I just don't have the capacity to be able to do that in this season of being a mom to a little, and we're also still trying to expand our family, so not right now, but maybe someday. So now, being a stay-at-home mom, content creator, entrepreneur, I am looking to build another six-figure business, but this time it's the brand business of me, Mandy Emerson. And with this series, I am taking you behind the scenes of everything, showing you just like what that actually looks like to build a business with multiple streams of income. I actually do have a video on the multiple income streams that I do myself, and I teach you a little bit on how to get started if you're interested in that. Speaking of income streams, check out the cutie little one. I think this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I feel like I've coined the phrase CEO of nap time. I truly embody this whole CEO of nap time, or like CEO of my toddler is sleeping time. Those are the times that I try and get as much done as I possibly can because I don't want to be preoccupied when I'm actually with my toddler, so I can be a part of every important moment. So of course we had to have sweatshirts, and I know it's the dead of summer, and who's wearing a sweatshirt in the dead of summer? Me, I am. And you might be too. So they come in a couple different colors, whether you're a pink, blue girly, or something neutral, I got you covered. The link to grab yours is in the description box below. Okay, enough of that. Let's talk about why I decided to start over really quickly, just to give you a little bit of context. So like I said, I had an account that I built for 5 years, since 2020. I've had that account for a little bit before, but I didn't take it seriously until 2020 when the pandemic happened, everybody went home, and I built that sucker to 114,000 followers and decided to walk away. Now, granted, that account saw a couple of different niches, but I was able to pivot from each niche pretty easily. I would say there was a time in between where my followers are like, wait, we were talking about makeup and now we're talking about Instagram. Wait, we were talking about Instagram and now we're talking about makeup again. Like, what are we doing? I did switch my niche, so that is something that might have played a factor, but I don't think so. What I actually think happened was there is a reel that went viral in August of 2024, and then it went viral again in November 2024, bringing in over 30,000 followers. I was already sitting around the 85,000 follower mark when this happened. So my first 15,000 was in August, my next 15,000 was in November, and that's where it got me to the 114,000 mark, you know, give and take a couple of follows, unfollowers, whatever. And I thought with that reel, it was faith-based, it was a part of my Christian values. It was a little bit controversial, but I thought the people that were following were people that aligned with that reel. So I really don't know what happened, but ever since that reel, my engagement has never been the same. Like, literally never. Most healthy accounts will see anywhere between 5 to 15% engagement rate. My account was seeing less than 0.04%. Yeah, that was not a typo. Yeah, abysmal, atrocious. Like, are you even kidding me? So I was creating all this content, showing up consistently. I was even posting multiple times a day and nothing seemed to change no matter what I did. My content was just not getting seen. Not by my ideal audience, not by my own audience. It was like my own followers, the people that signed up to see my content, weren't seeing my content. So I've been toying with this idea, honestly, of having a new account for probably 5 months at this point. The idea came to me in February where I was like, maybe I just need to start over. Every single time my friends would kind of talk me off the ledge, like, no, just give it a little bit more time. And finally in May, I just felt like I was hitting my breaking point of something's got to change. I feel like I'm hitting my head against a wall. I feel like I'm putting so much effort, so much time into creating content, which I love to do, only for it to just completely fall flat. And it wasn't necessarily even about the vanity metrics. I'm trying to run a business. I'm taking time away from being a mom and being present with my little to do something that I do love. But if it's not coming to fruition in a monetary way, why am I doing it then? I'm not doing this for a hobby. I'm not just doing this for the fun of it. I enjoyed it. It's fun to do and I'm getting paid for it. And now it was none of those things. So something had to change. So I finally decided at the end of May, I'm just gonna go for it, give it the summer, give it 90 days to test out and see if Instagram actually favors smaller accounts and newer accounts. And that's what we're gonna talk about today. So a couple of things that I feel like I need to note for context, because that matters. I am coming from an account with over 100,000 followers. So I'm assuming and hoping that at least 10% of those people are going to follow me to this new account. My account is sitting just under 3,000 followers after starting it about 3-4 weeks ago, which I'm very happy with. These are all real people and these are people that want to see my content, and to me, that's a win. Yes, it is very humbling and it is very jarring sometimes to know that I left an account over 100,000 followers and left it for a brand new one, but in the same breath, I continue to remind myself why I did this, and that resets me every single time. But at least now I know these are all real people and people that want to see my content and are actually seeing my content as well. My story views are in the 75 to 80% viewership. My account engagement is well over 15%, and that is because I am a smaller account, and that usually is typical if you have a smaller account and if you're newer. If you actually have over 20-30% engagement right now, like, you're killing it. If you're sitting anywhere between 5 to 10, please don't take that as you're failing, because that is average, that is normal, that is typical. Do not be upset by that number. Now, if you're like mine and it's less than 1%, we gotta talk, and we'll get there in a sec. So let me tell you a few things that I learned in this process of starting a brand new account from scratch. Storytelling is king. I know everybody says videos and reels are king, and yes, that's true. That's the medium of type of posts as far as carousels, regular posts, videos, reels, all of that. But within all of those, storytelling is king. It is top dog. It is top tier. It should be your top priority. You need to be taking your audience on some kind of journey, or else they're just gonna tap out. They're gonna be like, bye. If you think about your favorite show or movie, there's always a beginning, middle, and an end. And in the middle, there's some kind of storyline or plot or controversy, drama that gets you hooked. Now, that drama does not have to be negative by any means. It just needs to get your viewer hooked on the story that you're trying to tell. I'm sure you've seen a reel like this where there's a gal, she's getting dressed for a wedding, and she's like, I'm literally so late for this wedding, but I need you to help me pick a dress. Okay, yep, absolutely. And she tries on 3 dresses, and all the viewers are like, Somebody says dress number 1, others say dress number 2. We are invested, even though, like, girl, there's no way that you filmed this, edited this. Like, I'm thinking about the semantics of it all. That doesn't matter. Nobody is thinking about the semantics and the creating and the editing, and like, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you're already late for a wedding, why are you recording this video? Hardly anybody's thinking about that. They are thinking about the dress that you are going to wear to the wedding and which one it's gonna be. Storyline. It seems silly, but it matters. Another way that you can do this that I actually did last year when I left for a cruise with my family is I prepared my content for travel-based content, going on a cruise, being out and about. But weeks prior, I had ordered dresses and outfits that I thought maybe I would wear, but I wanted to include my audience in on this action. Me and my family are leaving in a week for a cruise, and I need you to help me to pick an outfit for formal night. It still gets the audience enticed and asking them to be a part of the conversation, which then promotes engagement. Tell more stories. Something else that a lot of people are talking about is the importance of saves and shares over likes. And I don't know how much truth there is to one being more important than the other, but I do know that saves saves and shares are important, especially when people are sharing your content via DM or to their stories, because that tells the algorithm that your content is so likable, is so good that other people are willing to share it on their own stuff, on their stories, and to DMs to their friends. So while every piece of content doesn't have to be shareable, have that in mind when you are creating your content. Would someone want to come back to this? Would somebody want to save this to revisit? Would someone want to share this with their friends? Kind of going back to that topic of storytelling, the hook still matters. You have to grab the attention of your viewer within the first couple seconds or they're gonna scroll on by. You've got to give people a reason to watch. This is something I feel like not enough people are saying, especially with a lot of this day in the life, daily vlog content. I think I can speak for a lot of us. I'm getting on social media for my own selfish reasons, not necessarily because I don't care about other people. People get on social media for themselves, not for you. Now, I don't want you to take that and be like, oh, people don't care about me. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I am trying to say is people get on for their own selfish gain, whether it is to learn something, get inspired. So for example, daily vlogs or day in the life type content, people aren't necessarily watching because they can't wait to see what you did with your day. They're watching to see if there's anything within your day that they would want to apply to themselves. Get it? It's the whole point of influencing. There's a content creator that I love to follow who has coined the phrase unselfish vlogs. Her name's Alyssa from Inspired Media Co. Definitely go give her a follow. I love her. She's so good about talking about creating unselfish content. We get on this app and we create day in the life, daily vlogs, or, come with me. And it's all about the person and it's not necessarily giving the viewer a reason to watch. The next thing that is not gonna be very surprising is consistency. Now, I post multiple times a day. That's what feels good to me. That's what feels aligned. I can churn out content because that is, I feel like, my zone of genius. That's my specialty. Don't feel like you have to do multiple times a day. The point is being consistent. And I'm just gonna say it. I do think you need to show up every single day, whether that's in your stories or on your feed. I don't think that you can get away with once a week. I do believe if you want to grow, if you want to build a business for yourself, a brand, if you want to build an income off of Instagram, you need to be posting every day. It might be controversial. And I know that there's going to be other Instagram coaches out there that say like, no, you can get away with not posting every day. Well, that's good for you. But I think if you want this, if you want to make something of this, then you'll show up every day. Okay. The other thing that I'm seeing a lot of are engaging edits. Now, I know that there's been some controversy with the new terms of service from CapCut, which that's what people use to add all these like crazy text slides and sound effects, but there's other options out there. The new edits app from Instagram, well, yes, it's very simple. I know that it's going to be on the rise and it is very easy to use. So that's an option. I know people use InShot as well as Splice. Maybe CapCut will come to its senses and not try and steal all of our stuff to sell for its own personal gain. CapCut, what are you doing? I will never spend hours on a reel for all of the crazy font ads and slide changes and like that's too much. It's really fun for me to watch, but that's not the best use of my time in this season that I'm in. If you have all the time to do that, by all means, get yourself ahead of the curve and learn how to do those crazy, fun, engaging edits. But if you are, in fact, like me, a stay-at-home mom that's running a house, you're the chef, you are the cleaning lady, you're the nanny, you're the wife, you're all of these things while also trying to take care of yourself and build a business at the same time. Like we don't got time. We don't. However, can we add a fun little animation to the hook, the title of our video? Yes. Can we add a fun little sound effect to that first title? Yes. Can we call it a day with those two things? Yes. You don't have to get crazy, but adding just a few little edits, trying some new things, right? Because we're learning, we're growing, will definitely keep your viewers' attention. I really want to talk about what's been the most rewarding out of all of this, because yes, there have been moments where I'm thinking, what the heck did I just do? But I am having more of those rewarding thoughts than I am the negative ones, so that's a plus. The first thing I would say is a fresh start always feels good. A clean slate, a blank canvas. It feels like cleaning out your closet, organizing all those photos, putting things exactly where they're supposed to be. It's energizing. It just feels like you can breathe. It feels like you can move. It feels freeing. I don't think I realized how heavy that account actually made me feel and that I might have actually been hiding behind it. The second thing is this newfound creativity and freedom that I feel, which I was like, wow, this is new. It's kind of one of those things like, dang, I wish I would have known this back then, but in order for me to know this, I had to go through this whole process of starting over. So I would have never learned it if I didn't just take the leap and do the hard thing. So I'm very thankful for that because I do feel like I've discovered this newfound creativity and it is, like I said, very freeing and very energizing. And the third thing is I feel so relieved that I'm not crazy, that it's not me, that I'm not the problem. At least not with this. Honestly, I thought I was losing it. I talked to so many people about starting over and they were like, no, Mandy, don't do it. I can't imagine starting over. You don't want to do that. That's going to be harder, blah, 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 blah. And like, I know a lot of those people were coming from a place of support. They weren't trying to sabotage me by any means, but it does feel really good to be like, okay, I was right. I'm not crazy. It's so funny. I actually saw a post and some people actually shared this with me because I think it's starting to make the rounds. There's a post that said I almost deleted my Instagram account and all she did was take a 30-day break and she came back with, you know, a new strategy, a new brand, a new vision, and it's working for her. And I love that for her, but I feel like everybody has to do what they think is best. It's kind of like being a parent. Like, we're all just trying to do what's best for our kids, and my Instagram is my baby and I'm just trying to do what's best. And the one account, I'm not just like throwing it out, you know, on the street by any means. I'm very thankful for that, but I also have to take action in a way that's going to be fruitful, because hiding behind a really pretty account that looks great on the outside with all of the followers and the branding and the content, it wasn't converting. And I'm not here for the vanity metrics. I'm not here for something that looks good on the outside, but is actually like stale and stagnant on the inside. There is one thing that I learned about starting a new account, and this is more logistic, is that you can't go live in your first 30 days. And I like to go live at least once a week, if not multiple times a week. That's a part of my strategy. And I went live the first week to be like, I'm on my new account, da da da. And it was like, no, you can't go live in the first 30 days. Now, I was actually able to go live within 2 weeks, so I don't know how true that is, if it's just Instagram figuring out that you're a real person, that you're not just like spam or a bot or whatever. So I was able to go live on my own account, on my new account, within 2 weeks, so that was definitely a relief. But something that people have talked to me about too is I want it to be the name that I currently have, like my handle. And what I did was I changed my name of the big account from The Mandy Emerson to It's Mandy Emerson, and the old name became available within 2 weeks. It's a 14-day hold. And I was able to change the name of my new account to The Mandy Emerson. So my email, my website, my YouTube, like all my other social media platforms all still had the same name, The Mandy Emerson, because Instagram put that original name on hold. The Mandy Emerson, they put that on hold so that if I changed my mind on the old account, I could get it back if I wanted to. But it just took 2 weeks to do, which was, you know, really nothing in, you know, the grand scheme of things. So if you're wanting to get your original name, it's not going to be taken by somebody else, right? I wasn't worried about that, and I was able to get it pretty quickly on the new one. Let's get into the part where we talk about the thing that I'm pretty sure you've been waiting for, and that's if you should start a brand new account. I have 5 different things that you need to be able to check off your list before starting a new account. The first thing is your engagement consistently less than 1% and has been for the last 6 months. Like I said, my engagement on my old account was less than 0.04%. It still like baffles me to this day, but that's okay. We're rising above. The way that you can figure out your engagement is by taking 3 posts that have kind of like lived their life. So I wouldn't take your 3 newest posts because they might be generating, depending on when you posted them, they might still be generating some views, some likes, some comments. So take 3 posts maybe from a few days ago, or maybe even from last week, that are what you get on average. I wouldn't take like your crazy highest that you've ever gotten or your crazy lowest. Take your average of 3 posts. You're gonna tally up the likes, comments, shares, all the clickable engagement. You're not gonna include views. So maybe you have reels, carousels, regular posts. Just tally up the number of followers, comments, shares, and saves. Tally up those numbers all together and divide that by 3. Whatever number that is, you're gonna divide that number by the amount of followers that you have, and then you're going to multiply that by 100, and that will get you your percent. Now again, I wanna reiterate that anywhere between 5 to 15% is totally normal and average. Anything above that is obviously really great, but also don't get discouraged if you're right at the 5% mark. It could be because you have such a big audience. Bigger accounts tend to have that lower engagement towards the 5%. It should not be less than 1% like it was for me. This is a great way for you on average to see what your engagement rate is like. Okay, number 2 is you have shifted your niche multiple times and your audience just isn't aligning with it. It is not impossible to shift your current niche and your current audience to something new. like I said, I've done it multiple times and have been able to shift just fine. And I don't even feel like I shifted my niche all that much before. It was still lifestyle, mom, beauty content, and that is still stuff that I show today. So it wasn't that big of a shift. So I don't count that as a reason why that account just took a nosedive. However, if you have shifted from one thing to something completely different, and maybe you've actually even done it a couple of times and your audience just is not tracking, especially after a few months of doing it, that might be an indicator we need to start fresh. Number 3 is if you can honestly say that you have been showing up every single day, not once a week or whenever you feel like it, daily, and you're not seeing any changes, okay. Number 4, as I lovingly hold your hand, do you know for a fact, without even an ounce of doubt, that your content is top tier? Are you filming with your back camera? Are you using higher camera settings? And I'm not talking about using any fancy equipment. I'm talking about using your good old iPhone back camera on 4K, at least 30 frames per second. Are you cutting out those millennial pauses? You know what I'm talking about. Are you getting people's attention with those hooks? Are you storytelling? Are you taking people on a journey with you? Are you trying new things? And are you trying to level up and get good at those new things? I am not kidding when I say that this is a job. If this is a hobby for you, then this video does not even apply. But if you're wanting to make social media and earning an income on Instagram a job, sister friend, we have to level up, okay? I say that with all the love in my heart. I don't ever want to say that your content sucks, but does your content suck? We can make it better. This is totally fixable. We can make it better. And the last and final thing is, have you sought the advice or opinion of a third party and not your bestie? Have you signed up for a profile audit? Have you booked a one-on-one coaching session? Have you asked other people to look at your account and give you an unbiased opinion of what they think? And yes, I am offering profile audits. So if that's something that you're interested in, getting that feedback on your content, your post, your caption, your hashtags, your profile, your bio, everything within your profile, we can take a look at it and we can help you level up. The link to grab that is in the description box below. If you have now gone through all 5 of these recommendations and you can honestly say, yes, I have done it all, I've given the strongest effort that I possibly can, then yes, starting over might be exactly what you need. So do I regret it? There are times, if I'm being so honest, there are times where I'm like, ugh, I miss that big account. I miss her a lot. And I am still showing up in the stories every so often just to show people like, hey, I'm alive, this is what I'm doing, because I know people don't see those story updates of I've started a new account all the time. So I am updating that at least once, maybe twice a week. But I would say 98% of the time, I am very happy that I did it. I have learned so much. I've gained so much clarity. I have direction. I am converting. I am making sales. I am welcoming new people to my team. So I will say 30 days in, I would say that this has been a success. And I still have 60 more days before I make the final decision if this is going to be the new account or if I'm going to go back to my old one. I highly doubt that I'm going to go back to the old one. I don't know. Never say never. If you have watched this entire video and maybe you're wondering, how do I even build a brand? How do I go about earning an income online? How do I even make content that's engaging or that hooks the viewer? I got you. I got you. Allow me to introduce you to the Everyday Influencer and the Real Queen course. Both of these courses I have poured my heart and soul into to help you, the everyday mama, the everyday influencer, just the everyday average girly that wants to earn an income on Instagram and you're just not really sure where to start. This has a step-by-step. It is super simple, very straightforward. It's not hours of content that you need to consume. You can listen to it on the go, in the pickup line, on your way to Target, on your way to get your nails done, whatever it might be. If you're looking for ways to get started, the Everyday Influencer is perfect for you. If you're wanting to step up your Reels game, the Real Queen course is perfect for you. I actually walk you through all of the tech side of creating Reels within the Instagram app, how to create engaging content, and something that I feel is one of my specialties is transition content, how to do those fun transitions without any expensive equipment or crazy editing apps. All of that is available inside the Real Queen course. And like I said, if you're looking at getting your profile audited and just getting some fresh eyes on your content, I would love to do that for you as well. All of that is available in the description box below. And that's it for this episode. I hope that this video was encouraging, supportive, inspirational. It answered the questions that you had or just gave you some kind of relief to make you also feel not crazy like I was feeling. That's the whole point of this entire project of sharing my journey of starting fresh, even though I had quite a few people that are like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. I'm so glad that I did it. And it might be just what you need as well. Be sure to follow along with me on this journey of building a brand new Instagram on my Instagram over at themandyemerson. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Mwah. Bye.